This nibble originally aired on RSBANDB Update, episode 866, Ring Around the Ripper. Enjoy. The mages in the Glacor front will now talk to each other every 30 minutes, and with this, we were kind of hoping we'd have another entry of what we had in the Santistan Cathedral, but as it is right now, it's not as earth-shaking as that, but I think there's a couple of interesting bits in at least one of the conversations, right?
Yeah. A couple of the conversations are there's one with Karis that is entirely, like, lighthearted and joking, very RuneScape humor. There's one that gives a little bit more, like, context around Anakra, who's been very much painted as a villain.
Yeah.
Through pretty much everything. She's an enemy in the World Wakes, or a boss in the World Wakes. She's, in all these things where she's like, ooh, Zamorak, but, like, evil, but only female Masharat, but, like, they didn't paint her very well. So it gives her a little more humanity. And then there's the last one, which is, the one between where Ariane, Akthanikos, and Azanadra have a conversation about kind of, this is more, it leads on to the archaeology from the Santistan dig site, where it's more of, like, what it was like to be in the city of Santistan, and it's kind of this, like, well, the city was, it was a thriving place, but it was also, like, the class system was very pronounced, right? The tenements and the cultures versus the libraries of magic and the wonder workers, and, the backs of the poor were certainly trodden on, and it has a good discussion on that. For folks that have had the time to go and look at it.
Zamorak was and is a populist rabble-rouser with spurious answers to complex questions.
Mm-hmm. To this day, he exploits the weak,
and that's precisely
with his lies.
And that's precisely what happened in Tablet of Het number 2, or Eye of Het 2.
Right.
So,
yeah,
and I mean, this is just more world building around that, and going back to when the fronts first came out, they said they wanted this entire area of Santistan to feel like it was alive, because you start with a deserted area in the quest, but then afterwards you add into it, and we've been adding to it steadily since July of 2021, and this adds a little bit more to it with that. So it'll be interesting to see if they add more to this, but based on what this was said here, I think this is probably going to be a one-time thing. But we'll have to keep our eyes out on that.
The other thing to note from this, and I don't know if other people caught it, is that it makes note that Ariane might be a Zamorakian. I don't know if other people have read that into this, but she goes a long way to defend Zamorak.
Yeah.
And kind
Zamorak
of call him
only
blameless.
swung the staff.
Yeah, so I have no interest in your stagnant fallen empire. Your arrogance and short-sightedness killed Zaros. Zamorak only swung the staff.
But when you think about it, that kind of makes sense.
Azanadra respond.
Because where else would you lump Ariane?
No, but I mean, and that's why that is part of. It's been noted elsewhere. I think that's part of why she got kicked out of the Wizard's Tower, is that she did not follow all of the Saradominus teachings in her work. But we never knew why. It's interesting. It's interesting that they're bringing it back up and kind of doubling down on that aspect of things. That she is a character more of chaos, right? Ariane and Karos are two sides of a coin, same side potentially.
And you see that in Azanadra's quest: destroy the head statues and huff them in.
You're the bad girl.
But hey, I mean, it adds a little bit more. And it kind of, I think, if you wanted to read even more into it, and perhaps to an unhealthy level, it would show where we're headed next.
Maybe.
In terms of just reviving these old lines that are so very RuneScape traditional. So
I can tell you for certain, we're heading towards chaos. Ariane is a seer.
Yeah, and then
we're going there.
Then obviously combine that with the other Saradominus sides, and once the egg threat is resolved, it's easy to see where this naturally goes now. So, yeah, I didn't anticipate to take much from this, but it sounds really interesting, and this might actually be an important piece of dialogue going forward. Thinking about it, so sorry if I wrote that off at anyone out there listening.
Foreshadowing, if nothing else.
Yeah,
potentially.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it.
You can find full episodes of RSBANDB Update right here on this YouTube channel. If you found this video useful or just enjoyed it, like and subscribe, or leave a comment.